So this is our environment variables.c program. I've already compiled it, and we'll refresh it. And this is the output of it. And this is what you should see when you run this on your web server. Now, if you run this on a remote server, you're going to see even a little bit more information, because you're going to get information about your client, where you're coming from on your web browser, and you'll get information about the server that your CGI program is located on. That's if you're not running your own server on your computer right there. There's our argument vector, the first one, and it's just the name of the program, because we don't have any other arguments coming in because of the way we have run this CGI. There's only argv sub 0, and that's the name of the program itself. But you can use that to get the name of your own program if you like. A lot of these are just from the computer because they are still the environment that the web server is running in. That information is passed along as well, like the class path and the computer name and things like that we don't really care about for CGI, but they're there. Here you see content length is 0, so that's going to be used along with our other type down there when we get to our request method. If the request method was a post, then we would know that we'd have to look at this value and see how much data is coming in on standard in. And there's our gateway interface, a CGI 1.1, so we know what version of CGI we're running. That is the most current version. The HTTP accept is telling us that it will take any kind of MIME type, */*, just like it is in DOS or anything else. Everything is accepted. The accept language, English US. The connection is set with a keep alive, which we don't want to get into that, but that's an HTTP thing. The HTTP host is localhost. That's what they are calling themselves. The user agent, this is coming from my browser right here that made this request. It's a compatible MSIE 7.0, and the NT version and the .NET version and all the common language runtime and all the rest of that is available so that my server can make decisions on this information and decide if it's going to use .NET or some other programming method to communicate with the browser. But that's how you find out what kind of browser people are using out there. Here's the CPU type, and the encoding that we will accept is gzip and deflate if they're going to send something back to us compressed. HTTPS or an SSL connection is turned off in this particular request because we don't have HTTPS up here. So it has not come in on a secure port. If it did come in on a secure port on usually 443, then this HTTPS would be on, and there would be another few environment variables that related to the key and other information about the secure connection. A little farther down here, we have our path and those kinds of things. And path translated is a way that we find where our files are, that we're in the CINet pub w's root. And that's the upper part of the path, which in this case stands for our local host. That's the path translated. And then we can take that and add the tail end of this, the CGI bin environment variables, to find where we are in the actual machine itself. Here's the remote address and remote host, which again, if you're running this on your ISP, will definitely be different from what you see as the server name and address. So that's the address of our client, the browser, and then we do a host lookup and get host by name. The server does that for us and finds out the name of the thing. Here's the request method is a get. So here we know where to read our information from. And down here is the server name itself, localhost, the server port. It is not, we are not doing a secure connection. We are running HTTP 1.1, and it's Microsoft's IIS 5.1 installed on my computer here. So those are the server variables that come to us in CGI. And that's pretty much, that's all of them. Now, there are others. I can't tell you all of them because some of them are built by your particular implementation of your server. So if you're using an Apache 2, you will have a few different variables than you will have with an IIS or an older IIS or even some different server that you may be running, because these deal with the environment of the server itself and the location where the CGI program is running. So there could be things that are important to that operating system and the server's implementation on that operating system. So the place to find those are in your HTTP server, your web server's documentation, and look up CGI variables and environment variables, and you'll see if there's something unique that you're going to be able to use in your programming that I don't have available on this machine. So that's how to see all the environment variables, and we took a look at the code. I'll show it to you again, and it'll also be available on the site here so that you can run this, and then you can maybe add some ifs. I was going to do this for you, but I think you should do it. Add some statements in here that only print the important ones, like the ones that start with HTTP or start with remote or server, because those are the ones that you actually care about. And then you can refine this list somewhat and not have quite so much information rolling around out there that you don't really care about and that doesn't matter to your program. The big black hole. There we go. So we've looked at code to examine all the environment variables that come to us in CGI, and we've done quite a bit of CGI work. You can now write a program that will interact with the internet and with a client on the internet, and you can receive form data and do something with it and send it back to the client. So good job. You made it all the way through this section of the video training that we have for VTC, and we are going to go on and look at some more C programming. We're going to take a look at the standard library and a few other things as we wrap up the video training course. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.